Oh, friends, I'm before I go to bed, and I'm reading this because a video I did on Portal, the nuclear facility in Iran. This is before I had my cataracts because this book was very small in print, and now I'm able to read some of the print in this book. But it's the 1928 Bible Handbook, and it's Daniel 7, and it's speaking about the four beasts. So, this is a continuation of the prophecy of chapter 2, which we which was uttered 60 years earlier, two aspects of one grand scheme of the history: four world empires, and then the kingdom of God. Chapter 2. These are um, represented by an image which a head of gold, a breast of silver, thighs of brass, and feet of iron, broken in pieces by a stone cut out of the mountains. In this chapter, um, these these same four world empires are represented as a lion, which is what Netanyahu calls the attack on Iran, was a rising lion. The bear, I believe, represents Russia because Russia signed a treaty before the day before they struck Iran's nuclear facility. And the leopard, which was in the beginning called Persia, and is now Iran, and a terrible beast. And now the eagle was in the Bible. So that's what I claim to be the United States. And you have to go back and look at that video about Cordell. These wait, let's see. These four world empires are commonly taken to be Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome. Um, See under chapter 2, representing the period from the days Daniel to Christ. These beasts seem to form the basis of the imaginary imagery of the seven-headed, ten-horned beast of Revelation 13. The 10 horns of the fourth beast are taken to be the 10 kingdoms into which the Roman Empire was involved or resolved. The other horn, which would be or which would arise among the 10 horns, is quite commonly taken to be the papacy, a combination of the leopard beast and lamb beast of Revelation 13, three kings, which the displaced 24 or displaced are thought to refer to the states of the Lombards, Ravenna, and Rome, which were launched over to the popes as the beginning of their temporal kingdom. 754 AD, that's after death. See under church history. Well, I can't see that, but on the interpretation taken together with the historical interpretation of the state or of the seven-headed, ten-horned beast of Revelation, we have a whole bird's eye view of the world history. Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, and Persia. Greece, Rome, Papal Rome. Rome was followed by 10 kingdoms. A round number, we think, denoting control of the world visited not in any one nation, but a number of nations, a sort of tenfold continue on the Rome Empire till the end. There never has been a world empire since. Napoleon tried it, he failed. The Kaiser tried it, he failed. So did Hitler. And but in vain, the other horn exactly fits the papacy. But we think it is, or it also has reverence to the Antichrist. Okay, time periods of the book of Daniel. A time and a half denotes the duration of the other horn of the fourth beast. A time and a half denote the period from Daniel, the time to the end. A time and a half used in Revelation 12 verse 14 as identical with 42 months and 1260 days. Revelation 11:23, 12:6-14, 13 verse 5, which precisions denote the period of the holy city was trodden down, and two witnesses prophesied. The woman was the wilderness, and the revived beast was the throne. 2,300 evenings and mornings. The time the sanctuary was trodden underfoot by the little horn of the third beast. It means earlier 2,300 days or 2,300 half days. That is 150 days, which is slightly short of 3.5 years, or almost double it. 190 days is the duration of the abomination of desolation, or the period from its beginning to the time of the end. It is slightly over the 1,260 days period. 1,335 days apparently is an extension of 45 days beyond the 70 weeks, the period from which from the decree to rebuild Jerusalem of tribulous time, build Jerusalem to the coming of the Messiah. It includes 7 weeks of troublous times. 1 week in which the anointed one was to be cut off. The word time in the phrase a time and a half is generally taken to mean year. The phrase thus missing 3.5 years, which is 42 months, which at 30 days to the month is 1,260 days. By some, it is taken to mean a literal 3.5 years. Others on the year day interpretation number to be a period of 1,260 days or 60 years. Still, others look upon the figure not as defining time limits or periods, but as being symbolical, being the symbol of completion. 3.5, which is 1/2 of 7, represents the incompleteness. That is, the reign of evil shall be only temporarily. These time periods are used. These time periods are used in data connection with the phrase abomination of desolation, wrought by the little horn of the third beast, which abomination also follows the cutting off of the Messiah, and is the point from which the 1,290 days run. Jesus quotes the expression abomination of desolation as referring to the impending destruction of Jerusalem by the Roman army mount, or no, Roman army, that must be Matthew, in a discourse of blended words involving the end of the world. Troublous times are spoken of for the 7 weeks at the beginning and 1 week and at the end of the 70-week period, a time and trouble such as never was is predicted for the time of the end, and Jesus quotes the expression as doubly referring to the desolation or destruction of Jerusalem and the end of the world. The description of the temple by Antichrist lasted 3.5 years, 168 165 BC. The Roman war against Jerusalem lasted 3.5 years, 67 70 AD. The papacy dominated the world for approximately 1260 years, 6th to the 18th centuries AD. Mohammedanism got control of Palestine in 637 AD, and it was Christian 1917 AD. We think that no one interpretation can exhaust the meaning of 3 or of these time marks of Daniel. Possibly they may be taken both literally, figuratively, or symbolically. Possibly they may be taken, or they may have primary fulfillment in the event of the history, secondary fulfillment in another event, and ultimate fulfillment at the time of the end. This desecration of the temple by the Antioch and of something. It's not Antichrist, but it's hard to read that. The destruction of Jerusalem by Titus propel usurpation in the church. May all be the forerunners and symbols of the great tribulation in the day of the Antichrist. We should not be too disappointed if we fall or if we fail to feel sure that we understand, for Daniel himself felt sick in not understanding. Okay, what I wanted to explain too was the thing about the Catholic, the Roman Catholic, the papacy, and all that stuff, is that they have over there now um, the IDF are supposedly given food that was donated and stuff like that, but they set it up in 4 areas, and they called that, it's combat zone, but they called it Gabriel. Something Gabriel. Gabriel is something that Catholics would use. Would be Gabriel. Also, I heard that it has something to do with Catholics. I can't remember what it was, but I remember that. Also, I had seen a video not too long ago because I was wondering, how it was, if I was right or not. And this video proved that I was, and also told me about the history of the Israel and the Jewish people. That, first of all, in Noah's time, this is after Cain was cursed to go into the, go by himself and stuff like that. One of Noah's sons' wives was related to Cain. So when they had children, they were part of Cain. But then this is where Abraham and Isaac and Abraham is with Jacob and Esau. Esau went off and went into the mountains and married all of the ites and all that stuff. But what happened was, and why God was angry, and why that a lot of this is just proven to me that Netanyahu is really, his name is Malatowski. His dad changed his name. Therefore, he was from Warsaw, and they married. This is where the Book of Enoch comes in. They intermingled and married people out of their own kind. That's what it said, out of their own kind. And so, as far as all this stuff, tracking yourself back to the original people, there's no way you can do that because the documents were destroyed. Plus, if you look at the American Indian, now the only way you can keep American Indian as American Indian is the only way you can keep American Indian as American Indian is to marry another American Indian and have children that are American Indian. But if you go and marry someone else, then that cuts it in half. and the more it keeps intermingling with other races or species, or like they said back in the Bible, it disappears. So they're, if they kept doing that all the time and like that, they would be gone. There's none of it. So as far as that goes, and I believe that to be true because American Indian, I have American Indian in me, but only a little bit because it goes down over the years by marrying someone that is not the same. And it just continues like that until it's gone. Now, like my husband his mother was full-blooded Hungarian because her parents came from Hungary. That was back in the day. And my ex-husband was Hungarian, half Hungarian. So because of his father wasn't and his mother was. So it goes down like that. And my children probably are for her and so on and so on. But that's where I think they get that book of Enoch, and that's where that comes from. Let me know in the comments below on what you think. But this is something that I feel is right. And as far as the four beasts go, Trump calls this the golden age, and he wants to build a golden dome. Israel's the Iron Dome, and then you got Persia and Russia. So there you go. There you have it. I just thought I'd read a little bit to you out of an old book, and it's an old book. It's 1928 Bible Handbook, but I just got my eyes cataracts removed, so I don't need. I need glasses to read, but they're the top part of the glass, not the Bible part. So they went. My seeing has gone a lot better than it was. So in that sense, I'd like to say God bless. Get prepared and keep your head on a swivel. You never know what's going to happen from day to day anymore, and this stuff is just getting out of hand. And you never know because there's a lot of earthquakes, a lot of tsunamis, you name it. There's a lot of stuff going on. And with that said, God bless you all. Peace and love. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.